So now, I'm going to show the client what the F&A is. I'm going to explain who we are, what we do, and why we need the information. So I'm going to go into our presentation book, and I'm going to go into the credibility page, and I'm just going to share who we are from a credibility standpoint. I'm going to show them that we're a legitimate company. I'm going to show them the F&A, what the F&A is. You know, it's kind of like a roadmap. Like if we were going to drive to New York, you can't just get in your car and drive. You got to get in your car, punch in the GPS address, and that's going to take us to where we need to go, right? All right. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to make sure that we get them to understand that the F&A is a good thing. One of the things you guys are going to find out tonight is that I like when the client tells me that they think it's a good thing, instead of me telling them. See, rookies in the sales business, they're always telling you it's the best thing. I want you to tell me it's the best thing. I want to say, hey, look, we do this financial needs analysis. This is what we do, right? It's good for families. Would you agree? Would you agree people need to know about this? Do you think that this might be able to help you in your financial situation? Yeah, makes sense. Great. Just going to ask you a couple of background questions, and then we'll go from there. Just some simple, questions, and then we'll go from there. Does that what? Sound fair. Does that sound fair? You guys are going to use that a lot. Does that sound fair is the best way for you to close in a very low key way, right? Low pressure, easy, simple. It's very difficult, by the way. If I ask you, does that sound fair? It's very difficult for the human being to say, no, it does not sound fair. Imagine if I say, hey man, is that kind of, like if it's reasonable, right? If it's just something reasonable, I say, hey, does that sound fair? Generally, they're going to say, yes, it sounds fair. So when they say, yes, it sounds fair, it gives me now the permission. They are giving, I'm not telling them to do it. They're now giving me the permission to gather a couple bits of info. Because I've seen people in the past, they come up to me and they go, Daniel, the client does not want to give me all their information. Well, I know why they don't want to give you the information. It's because, number one, you didn't build good rapport. I don't know. I mean, Alfred, you probably have the same situation as me. Everybody gives me the information. Right. I don't ever have anybody tell me they do not want to give me the information. Everybody. Like, I don't remember the last time somebody has said, I don't want to give you any information. Because I built rapport, I found out what's important to them. Now they know that this analysis is a part of the process to help them get all of the things that they said that they wanted. So why would they not want to give me that information? Why would they not want a roadmap that was going to help them and guide them to their goals and dreams? Like, who doesn't want that? And by the way, the average financial analysis that an advisor will do for you is going to cost you $3,000 or whatever. We do it completely complimentary for our clients. Okay? Did you hear what I said? We do it complimentary for our clients. Number 4, complete the F&A input sheet. Number 5, so what I'm going to do is, so you're going to get into completing the analysis, right? But I'm going to get into a couple of the key closes. Because I believe that these are key pieces of why the majority of everybody I sit down with, the majority of people that I sit down with, the reason why they tell me yes. The ratio of closing is very, very high because of these key closes. Okay? So it's almost like this. Think about it like this. If you get a lot of little yeses, it's probably going to be easy to get the big yes. Would you agree?
Yes.
Okay. So if I get if I ask you, if you tell me yes 10 times, it's hard for you to tell me no on the 11th time because it would almost be hypocritical. Yeah. And people do not want to be hypocrites. People want to be truthful. The average person, they want to say what they, mean what they say and say what they mean. And that is, by the way, in our favor. Okay? Because if we know that, then all we got to do is just ask them some questions. They're going to say yes to those questions. At the end, I'm going to ask them that, hey, would you give it a shot, or, which one would you choose, or whatever. And then they pick one. Because they said yes so many different times throughout the presentation. So, here's one of the first closes. So this is called the pay yourself first formula. So everybody's life is different, but this should be used as a benchmark to shoot for or plan around. If you want to be dead broke, don't pay yourself first. Spend more than you make. Borrow on credit cards. If you want to be poor, think about paying yourself first, but don't actually do it. Spend everything you make, right? Middle class, you got to do 5% of your income. Upper middle, you got to do 10% of your income. If you want to be rich, do about 15 to 20%. So which do you want to commit to be? So they get to choose though, right? Do they want to be dead broke, poor, middle class, upper, or rich? Maybe they say, hey, we're good with being upper middle class. So they're going to do 10%. So which one would you commit to be? So they say 10%. So they're making $5,000 a month or whatever, $3,000 a month, just call it. So that's $300 a month. So is this an amount you feel completely comfortable committing to each and every month? Yes or no? And if they say no, adjust accordingly. How much too much do you feel that is? So what are we doing right now? We are overcoming the objection that so many people come up with that says, I can't afford it. So it's very rare that somebody's going to say, I can't afford it at the end because but now, keep this in mind though. Because this is just a module here. This is just a piece. This is just one of the closes. This is just a piece of this presentation puzzle. Wonder if you walk in the door and you start asking them about their income and they're like, well, we make $150,000 a year. We make $200,000 a year. Make $100,000 a year. Like, am I really going to necessarily have to do this piece? I mean, I could. If I want to get a solid, commitment number, I could do it. But maybe I'm crunched on time. Maybe I have a 6 and an 8 o'clock appointment and I kind of got to move through it a little bit. I may skip this part because I already know how much money they make. If they make $3,000 a month, I'm going to have to do this. For sure, I'm going to have to do this. Because $3,000 a month, they might be a little bit tight on their budget. So these are the little things that I think about, and I'm trying to teach you guys because I want you to learn all the crap that took me 25 years to learn. I've been using the same presentation for 25 years. And it works just as good today as it did 25 years ago. So this is giving us the advantage of being able to say, hey, what amount can you set aside? And they go, hey, $300. Yeah, I could probably do $300 a month right now. Cool. Love it. Think it's great. So if they say, no, I can't afford anything, what do we do? If I can't do anything, I'm dead broke, I got no money, but you're looking around and you're like, well, you kind of see the pack of cigarettes over there. You see their nice car outside. They got cable. HBO Max is playing over there, right? And you kind of like look at some. You're like, wait a minute. It's not that they're broke. They just don't see the value of investing for the future. And of course, I've already asked them information about the retirement, so I knew that they're putting away, $200 a month into their 401k right now. So I already kind of found out. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to do a little budget sheet. I'm going to ask them their budget. I'm going to run through. I'm saying, hey, no, that's cool. I get it. So how much you pay on your cell phone bill? How many? And it's on there. It's right on the F&A input sheet, right below the debt section. It's all of that information's right there. So if you have no money and you're broke, you're going to at least prove it to me. Because if you have no money and you're legitimately upside down by $500 a month, well, it's either eating or life insurance. What are you going to choose? You're going to choose the eating every time. So then when I go home and I'm driving home, I'm not upset with myself. Because I know there's no way that I could close that sale. You know, like sometimes you're driving home and you're like, shit, what could I have done differently? I could have did this better. I should have said this better. I could have, right? And so I'll never have to say that because I know that I did everything that I could possibly do to close that sale. Remember, you can't close a sale because of a couple of reasons. Number one, there's a health issue. Can't close it if they got a major health issue, right? And then number two, they're dead broke. If they're dead broke, they're dead broke. You can't do anything about that. So don't feel bad if you did everything. You did the budget, you figured it out. Now you know. So then, if you have to do that budget sheet on, most of your appointments, then guess what you should be thinking? Hey, I'm in the wrong damn market, right or right? I'm hanging out with a bunch of broke people. I'm only trying to talk to people with no money. So you can't do that. Your job is to go sit with qualified people. Remember, there's 40 million people in California. Out of 40 million, you can find a couple people that make 30,000, 50,000, 100,000. Get in a better market. Now you're talking a couple $100,000 a year with some of these people, right? Which gives you an advantage because you get in the door and it's easy, right? The process is easy. I mean, you don't even have to do this pay yourself first formula with all these people if they got money, and you're just blowing through it, and you never get that objection at the end. Matter of fact, you get very little objections when you're sitting with people that are making 50,000 plus a year. If you're doing the process right, the only challenge is when you legitimately are meeting people with no money. Thank you for watching our short clips on Alonzo Academy. If you'd like to watch the next short clip, click here. If you'd like to watch the entire podcast, click here.